I'm Chow Daniel from Wines LLC. Today we're going to talk about three very special wines from an island off of Sicily called Favinia. And let's go to the words first like we usually do. Now, so the wines are called Favinia Wines, three of them, and they're from the island of Favignana Island, and Firiato owns the Calamone estate. That's where they have their 5 hectares, about 12 acres. So we have a Favina Bianco, which means white, Favino Rosso, which means red, and the Favina Passole, which is their dessert wine. But let's go to the map and talk about and see where these wines are located from. So here we have Italy. We go down to, here's the Straits of Messina, where you take a nice ferry boat ride across, and you go all the way to Marsala and Trapani in this area too. And off of here's coast, see these little islands? These are the Egade Archipelago. And this larger island is Favignana. So they have their autonomous varieties they planted there. For the whites, they planted Grillo, Catarratto, and Zabibo. For the reds, Pericone and Nero di Avola. What's happened here is as they planted these vines on this island that has a lot of sea influence and salt influence, some of the vines survived, some of them didn't. The ones that survived, they took cuttings, started more vines, and so they selected, natural selection, the ones that survived to fill out their vineyard. And what happens is, as the French call it terroir, this is a very special terroir, the vines acclimate and really change and adapt to the climate so that these same varietals in another area aren't going to taste quite the same. So first, we'll go and talk about the wines. And again, what I think about these wines is when you know in your restaurant business, your customers, these are wines that for special occasions or for special customers that want something different, a little more high-end than the normal wines, then these are good wines. Or if they're coming in, say, with a party of 6 people, you could say, I've got some wines that are really special that I think would go with your dinner and your group very well, because we have a red, white, and a dessert wine, so these would really go well with them. And here's why I think they would go well. And now, the Bianco 2018 we have, is Catarratto, Grillo, and Zabibo. Well, what the heck is this? Well, Catarratto gives it the body, Grillo gives it a lot of its special flavors, and Zabibo gives it aromatics. So it's a special wine that is pretty much full-bodied, round, and smooth and velvety, and it really improves with age. It's almost like a Burgundy in that regard. It improves with age, and it's something that nobody's going to be offended by. Wines are so different and preferences are so different, but nobody will be offended by this Bianco. In fact, they'll like it, and it's really a wine that people are going to like a lot. Now, when we go to the red, the Rosso, the same thing. It's not going to offend anybody. So the grapes, Pericone, is a big, dark, fruity wine that has balsamic finish on the palate. So it really gives it a distinctive taste. Nero di Avola is the big, famous red wine of Sicily. And so it's got dark fruit in it, and it's got mild tannin. So it has to have tannin and acidity to bring out the fruit, but not an extreme. So everybody's going to like this Rosso. And then the Appassimento, the dessert wine, Passole, it's made from Zabibo. Zabibo is a Moscato di Alessandria, but it's considered an autonomous varietal of Sicily. And actually, there's another island off of Sicily called Pantelleria that's very famous for these types of wines. So what I like about this, although it's a dessert wine, it's sweet, it's also aromatic and it's refreshing. So when you drink it, your palate is cleansed. It's not going to coat it as what you think of something that's sweet and unpleasant. This has zest of orange zest, lemon zest, apricots, pears. You're going to get all of these, and people will really like these. So I think these Favinia wines, for your special customers, they could have them individually, but particularly if you have a group of 4, 6 people, 8 people come in, these would sort of hit all bases and give them something that's exotic, that your restaurant's serving, that they're not really going to get anywhere else. But so I think these really will go great with your restaurant. Thanks a lot for listening. This is Joe Daniel.